Welcome to Zooming to Webinar Success. If you're needing to plan a virtual meeting and are stuck, this series is for you. Full-time voice artist Grant Holmes is also a busy virtual meeting manager and on-screen host. Learn tips and tricks to having successful virtual meetings from step one. And now, here's your host, Grant Holmes, the webinar guy.
Hello, this is Grant, the webinar guy, and this is episode 18 already. My goodness. So for the last few episodes, I've been covering several things surrounding your webinar recording environment, specifically webcams, cameras, and microphones. Then I talked about really thinking about the brand you're putting together and putting forward in that look that you're broadcasting. And then I promised to cover lighting soon. Well, here we are. Finally, I'm going to go back and look at lighting, but I'm going to go look at it a little differently than you might expect. As mentioned previously, there's plenty of tutorials on lighting you can find, and with everything on the old interwebs, some are better than others. But I had a unique challenge. Well, at least unique to those of us that wear glasses. See, the first time it occurred to me that I was going to have a challenge was a long while back when I was on a live Zoom meeting or virtual training I was watching. The trainer had done everything correctly on lighting. The backlighting was great. A couple focus lamps were aimed to eliminate dead spots in the room. They'd even used a ring light to light their face well. And if you're not familiar with a ring light, it's exactly like it sounds. It's a round lamp. And on most setups, you can put the camera right in the middle. So you've got a mostly perfect lighting setup. Like I said, the lighting was nearly perfect, except for one thing. They'd not considered how the ring lights would act on their eyeglasses. Yeah, that. What happens with glasses and ring lights is that the ring lights put a fairly large white dot on the glasses. And the wearer cannot see that dot unless they're looking at their Zoom feed or whatever. So the whole time this presenter talked, every single little move of her head was accompanied by that little dot dancing all over her glasses. Talk about distracting. You know, many people wear glasses. So how do I beat it? Well, almost zero direct light. Now, I've got one light here that helps my forehead not get too hot or too cold lighting-wise. I've got a large LED light that barely bleeds off the top to light my space around me. I've got two large white objects here that reflect light at me. My other lighting is behind me for my green screen. So none of it is direct on my glasses. And I can probably, there we go, I can get some glare on my glasses if I really want to, but I'd rather not. Now the other challenge is you get too much up here and you get shadows, but that's all more of that indirect uplighting, etc. Okay, I'm also told that a polarizing filter on that camera lens can help eliminate that stuff. Well, my results varied. So let's wrap up lighting. You know, I really didn't intend for this to be the answer to all of your lighting issues. I wanted to call attention to it. I see no point in redoing training and instruction that's already out there. But many presenters don't consider not only how they look, they don't also consider the room around them. So lighting is all part of that. Now, a couple tips here. If you're using a natural setting, unlike I'm using, this is green screen. If you're using a natural setting and no green screen, watch for dark or dead spots in the room where a little fill would help. Who is Phil anyhow? I don't know. Anyhow. On the other hand, glare can be a problem. Think about sun movement. Now, if your virtual meeting is only 20 minutes, it's likely not a big deal. However, if you're running an all-day virtual summit or a webinar of any length, pay attention in the days ahead and see how your space is affected by sun travel. You might be surprised. Also, is planning for one type of lighting. Say it's been overcast lately, and that day, of course, yeah, the sun comes out. Most possibly, a green screen setup can be better as you pretty much set it up and forget it. I turn my lights on and turn the other lights off that I need to, and it looks like this every single time. It can also help eliminate the variables in a naturally lit space. That is the other lighting you add. And the same goes for a dedicated recording space using a natural set. But that glasses thing, yeah. Again, just pay attention to this and you'll be fine. One last trick I learned. I have 4 monitors in my studio. Yeah, 4. It's great for screen and software management, but yikes, if you have Windows open on your desktop, give me a second, let me show you. Well, here's a browser opened up, there is a big white screen opened up, and there is another big white screen browser opened up. And you can see how much all of that adds as I take it back out and see the lighting change. That was huge. Also, you might guess, I'm reading off of a script right now, a teleprompter. When I first started, I was using a traditional white Microsoft Word background with black text. Again, think of all that light coming off of that document. I now use a black motif Microsoft Word document. Everything about it is black and the text is white. Very, very small amount of reflective light. Too much light to reflect is bad. So just think about all that. Oh, by the way, if you need help on that setup with Microsoft Word, drop me an email. I'll give it to you here in a second. This took me at least 2 different camera setups and more lighting changes than I care to try to recount. And the black screen, close extra windows you don't need thing was just experience. You don't need a trick to get my glasses and the lighting right. Maybe not. I don't know. Anyhow, best of luck to you in lighting. This series is for smaller organizations and solopreneurs that may not be tech savvy, don't want to know all the steps to create a great webinar or Zoom to webinar success, and maybe they don't want to know all the steps. Well, over the series, I'm going to lead you through significant decisions and capabilities you'll need to Zoom to webinar success. As always, if you need help now, don't hesitate to reach out to Webinar Pro at thewebinarguy.com. Just hit the website also. There's contact forms there. Thanks for watching, and if you're listening to the audio, the podcast, thanks for listening also. See you next week.